Anyone who has searched for the best places to buy authentic football kits will have come across classic football shirts, and for good reason. They are market leaders in a very difficult industry and have successfully portrayed themselves as the go-to place to buy authentic vintage football shirts, which is why, despite this video in general, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that they aren't a generally decent business. I'm just here to tell you to be extra careful so you don't make the same mistake I did when buying from a site like this one. For some background, as a Roma kit collector, I'm obviously a big Totti fan, and I've always wanted a near mint condition kit of his from Italy's 2006 World Cup triumph. One day I thought my luck was in, and I happened to see one on classic football shirts. It was a tough decision because their kits are expensive enough as it is, let alone for kits that are high in demand like the one I was looking for. But I figured it was worth it, considering its rarity and also considering the fact that buying from them would at the very least allow me to sleep well at night knowing I got an untampered original product, right? Unfortunately for me, I quickly realized that something wasn't quite right. Now, what you need to know is that the 2006 Italy kit has several details that differentiate it from fakes. We're talking tags, the badge, the material, etc, etc. And while the shirt in itself is authentic, it had clearly been tampered with. Someone clearly restored the golden Puma logos by gluing new ones on top of what would have been the originals. Now, how do I know? Three main things. For the first, you won't be able to tell on video, but you can feel how thick they are because someone glued these on top. I've seen plenty of these kits in person to compare, and these logos do not feel this way. If you were folding the Puma logos on an original, even a mint condition original, without looking, you wouldn't feel like you were bending something so apparent. The second and biggest sign is arguably the fact that when you look in, you can actually see the old original Puma logo leaking on the edges, as well as the remnants of the glue that was used. The third is also the surface area of this Puma logo having some sort of little dots all over it. The original didn't. It was very, very smooth, and at best, you could see the squared layout of the shirt underneath, but definitely not these dots. I've never seen them anywhere. These are all signs that point to the obvious. Someone tried to restore the Puma logos to make the shirt out to be in mint condition. The cherry on top of it all is that when you look at the internal tags, they've clearly been through plenty of washes. How can the name set and also the tags show some wear and tear, but the logos don't? Which, for the record, specifically for this shirt, are the first thing that historically has always worn out, and the easiest and the fastest for absolutely everyone who washed it. The question then is, are the Puma logos on top official, or are they just really good replicas? Also, did classic football shirts do it themselves, or did they simply find this shirt and sell it off for a profit, with these details not getting noticed through their screening process? For all of the above, it doesn't really matter because this was never even remotely mentioned in the product description. The website leaves a lot to be desired in general with such explanations, and even the photos too. They clearly do a good job in uploading pictures that mitigate the details of the shirt, and if you care about these things, you have to be very, very careful. At this point, I had lost my trust in them as a business, so I started looking into everything about the shirt, even the name set, and while it's hard to confirm it, I've started to think that this name set may just be a very good replica. I started off comparing it with a Google search of some online examples, and I can't say for certain, but the details do seem different, specifically in the way the gold color changes from dark to light. But I needed better pictures to compare, and so I asked around to some of my connections to show me what they have on their kit, which they bought from original sources at the time in 2006, and even then the color and name set didn't exactly match up the same, but I can't say for certain like the Puma logos. Now, I understand that not everyone is as crazy as I am when it comes to such details, but personally I do care about them, and I'm sure others would as well, at least when you're paying such absurd prices. If you're not one of those people, then no issues. Good for you. I have no problem with anyone being way more relaxed about it and being fine with a kit that may have been tampered with, it may have been restored with unofficial parts, or a kit that may be real but has fake patches and name sets. Hell, even if you prefer buying fake kits, I envy you, because if I did as well, my life would be so much easier. The problem here is that sites like these don't disclose everything to the buyer. It's flat out shady, and it made me think, what if they regularly restore damaged kits with unofficial parts or name sets. How many times can they really get away with it? For a 2006 Italy kit, you can relatively easily find a shirt with no name set, add the perfect replica logos and name sets on top yourself, and at that point you can sell it off as a near mint condition item for a massive profit, because most people will not have the willingness to research these details or have the resources to have someone show them an original so they can do their research themselves. I'd have no issues if that information were disclosed in the descriptions and these kits were sold as restored or tampered with. At that point, I'd only be able to blame myself if I was unhappy, because I knew exactly what I had purchased. And if they didn't do it themselves and they simply got this kit at their facility this way, they still need to do a lot better in terms of screening the shirts, but also at painting a better picture for your customers, disclosing much more information about the kit, both in the pictures and in the product description. They may not be lying, but not showing the entire picture for every shirt they sell isn't exactly honest either.